Yo, what's up, my people? Thank you very, very much for joining us today for our channel. We're going to be doing a full card prediction from a betting perspective. So, a decent little card here. I'm always excited for the UFC, always looking for opportunities to put our money into. No such thing as a bad card in my eyes. There's only a bad card if you lose money. So, let's get straight into it. So, first fight of the night, we have Pacheco versus Loughran. I think it's a good fight. I think this has potential to be a little bit of a banger. I'm actually going to go with Loughran here, and the odds of 1.29, I believe, current odds. I think there's a little bit of value there. I don't know if I'm going to pay it straight or stick into a parlay, but I think Loughran's a much better, more skilled fighter here. And I think UFC is kind of setting him up here for a big win against his debut against Taylor Lapilus. He put up a very formidable, respectable performance against a good opponent. Petroski versus Malkoun. Grappler versus grappler matchup here. I agree with Malkoun being a favourite here. However, I think the line's a tad bit wide. The line's around 1.43, which is about implied odds around 70%, mainly because of the cardio advantage, and you gotta favour the cardio, right? So yeah, give me Malkoun there, but no bet there. Melissa Gatto versus Victoria Dudakova. I'm gonna ride with Gatto here. I think she's a much bigger fighter here, more physically imposing. Dudakova's moving up a weight class, and I can see it. She looks like a strawweight facing a flyweight. Gatto's fought a high-level competition. I think the physicality is going to be a big issue here, and 1.65, I'm tempted for a bet there. I think that might be a decent little trade there. Aslan versus Anton Turkalj. This is actually a rematch. Turkalj won the first fight, and it's interesting because at the current odds, Aslan's actually the slight favourite, which is always interesting to me because normally the first person who wins the rematch has a higher probability of winning the second fight. But this is a fight I don't really want to touch from a betting perspective. I think it's a pretty tricky fight to call. I'm going to go with Anton here, but it's not really a confident pick. Only reason I'm picking him is because in the first fight, Aslan kind of gassed out. That kind of cost him the fight, but Aslan's actually winning the majority of that fight. I say he's winning about 90% of that fight. So yeah, a fight that I don't really want to touch. Maybe look at the unders. I think this could be a violent fight. I think these two are going to clash, and we could see a potential finish there. Conor Matthews versus Dennis Buzukja. This is, I don't want to be too disrespectful, but this is a pretty low-level fight here. I think it's going to be quite a competitive fight. I'm going to go with Buzukja here, but there's no way I'm touching him. I don't really want to touch him from a better perspective. I think this one might go over, but yeah, just not one that I'm really interested from a betting perspective. Julio Arce versus Herbert Burns. This is a good little, interesting little matchup here. The odds of 1.25 for Julio Arce. I see why he's a big favourite here because Herbert Burns has a good round in him, and afterwards he kind of just gasses, quits, and he hasn't fought in two years at his age. Why is he coming back now? Julio Arce, Tiger Sharman guy, decent boxing, well-rounded skill set, good fighter. You have to ride with Arce here. Probably a second round finish, but at odds of 1.25, I'm not really too keen on sticking that into a parlay or betting it straight because I do kind of think Herbert Burns could have success in round one. So keep an eye on the live betting lines there, but I think the bookies were pretty switched on there. So maybe you might have to bet Arce 3 minutes in. Virna Jandiroba versus Lupita Godinez. This is a good fight. I'm actually looking forward to this one. So we got Virna Jandiroba, high-level BJJ practitioner for women's standards. Can't even speak properly. Loopy, well-rounded fighter, but decent boxing. I think the value is actually on Virna Jandiroba here. Not a big bet. I don't think I can make this a big bet. Still considering it myself. I think Virna could probably get her down, have some grappling success there. Lupita's shown a weakness. I wouldn't say weakness, but she's shown that she can get taken down. Like against Angela Hill, she got taken down. Tabitha Ritchie was kind of stalling her against the fence, but the way they score fights now, it's like grappling doesn't even matter. You can have 4 minutes of grappling success, and Loopy just comes in, lands 2 boxing shots, and it could be her round. So I can see why Loopy's the favourite here. She's obviously making improvements, but she's prone to not showing up. So I think the value is actually on Virna here. Nate Landwehr versus Jamal Emmers. I'm going to go with Emmers here. I just think he's the more overall more skilled fighter. Of course, he's prone to making mistakes, showing bad IQ, but Emmers has got some skills here. And I think the skills are going to pay the bills here. And the average odds around 1.45. I think the odds are fairly accurate, maybe a little bit of value there. But yeah, I think Emmers is going to get the job done, probably a decision. Chidi and Njokuani versus Rhys and Mckee. I'm looking forward to this one. This one has violence written all over it. First thing I have to get out of the way is Chidi moving down to 170. Like, I don't know how he's going to make the weight. This is a guy who's talked about in the past how the weight cuts really, really affected his voice. It completely changes the voice. If you hear him talk now, he has like a really raspy voice. So I don't know how he's going to make this weight. Maybe he's with USADA gone to get on some juice or whatever they do. But even if he doesn't make the weight, that could probably play into a factor here. I don't see it because he's a big 185er to begin with, but very, very good Muay Thai skill set, 4 round, very, very powerful 4 round. But he does have the will to quit, can get a little bit gassy. But I think Rhys Mckee is going to have to overcome a big, big storm here. I don't know if he can do it. So that's why I'm going to go with Chidi here. I have odds around 1.69. I see why all the money's been coming in on. I can see why the money's coming on Mckee, but I think this steam may be wrong. But keep an eye on the weigh-ins for this one. Bill Algeo versus Kyle Nelson. So it's getting Bill is around odds of 1.43, and money's just steadily been coming in all week. I can see why. I think this could play out quite competitive at times, but I think Bill is the justified favourite here. More volume, more pressure. I think he can probably win a decision here, but Kyle Nelson's a guy, people kind of written him off, but he's been making adjustments to his game. So I think I'm going to go with Bill Algeo here to get a decision. Sedriques Dumas versus Ruziboev. Now, if Ruziboev was called Chad Johnson or like an American name, I think the line would be a lot closer here. In the regionals, he came in, gets a bunch of first-round subs off his back. I think this is close to a 50-50 fight here. I think all the value is on Dumas at odds of 3.10. I don't think you can touch Ruziboev here at odds of 1.41. I know you got a big KO last fight. Bruno Ferreira threw a lazy leg kick. He looked a lot bigger there, so maybe might be on a special sauce. This to me is close to a 50-50 fight, and I can never touch Ruziboev at odds of 1.40. So I think all the value there is on Dumas. Bruno Silva versus Chris Weidman. I know there's a lot of sharp people on the Chris Weidman side. I can kind of see it. Maybe you can stall it on Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva is a guy who is declining, but he's still very, very powerful, very athletic kind of still. He's fought some tough guys, fought some killers. But I cannot bet Chris Weidman at this stage of his career against Brad Tavares. He still showed heart, showed a will to win, but he looked shell of himself, 38, leg injury. Yeah, Bruno Silva inside the distance there for me. Vicente Luque versus Joaquin Buckley. Now this is a good fight here. I'm really looking forward to this one. A lot of money's been coming in on Buckley this week. A lot of sharp people on Buckley. And I can totally see why. Luque looked a bit shot born last fight against RDA. It's mainly the grappling that helped him in the fight. So I think there could be some possibility that Luque is completely washed. Buckley's very athletic, explosive. I don't see Luque grappling Buckley here. I think if he does get some grappling success on Buckley, it'll be like temporarily. And Buckley's going to pop straight back to his feet. So I think it's mainly going to be a striking fight. I'm going to go with Luque here. I just think it's a tighter, cleaner kickboxer. But there's no way I'm touching Luque. I think I just can't trust him at this point. He can always fight very competitive. So yeah, give me Luque there, but can't bet it. Erin Blanchfield versus Manon Fiorot. This is a sick fight. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. So we've got Erin Blanchfield, Manon Fiorot. I think the value is on Manon Fiorot here. Obviously, betting against Erin Blanchfield is something that nobody really wants to do. She's a very, very high level fighter. She's relentless. She's going to come forwards. She's never going to give up. Round 1 against Tyler Santos, she was getting out-muscled, outgunned. She never gave up, right? She showed heart, a will to win. And I think one day she will probably be a champion. Manon Fiorot, a very, very high level kickboxer. The thing that I have here is I think the physicality may be a problem for Erin Blanchfield. Manon Fiorot looks a lot more physically imposing. So I think that odds of 2.50, 2.6, 2.7, I think all the value is on Fiorot here. But again, you cannot bet big here against Erin Blanchfield because Erin Blanchfield is very, very high level. So yeah, those are my picks. Thank you very much for joining us. Really, really appreciate it. I'm going to have my best bets video out Friday, showcasing my best bets, best plays. And yeah, good luck with this weekend, guys. Hope you make loads of money. If you've got any questions, any queries, leave a comment down below.